Hi, it's me, Ingrid of P, and this is my last part of the autism assessment slash ADHD assessment, even though I didn't get the ADHD diagnosis. This is going through the papers that I got confirming my autism diagnosis and excluding the ADHD diagnosis. So we've talked in part 1 about my childhood, part 2 about my symptoms currently, and this is part 3, which is the results. So the psychologist did several tests. One of them is the ASRS, which is for ADHD. Ingrid has writes that she has 4 out of 6 of the symptoms of ADHD, which means that ADHD might be the case. RADS 14, she got 31 points, which is over the cutoff, and it means that autism can be the case. Then there was audit, which is the alcohol test, that she got 0 points, which is under the cutoff, which means that there's no alcohol problems. DUDIT, which is the drug one, also 0. PHQ 9, Ingrid has 6 points, which means that she does not have depression. I think I was a little bit, I kind of manipulated here where I did not actually write how depressed I actually was. I probably do have depression as well, or, it comes and goes in waves. Anyway, then there's how my behavior during the visit. Ingrid has easy time understanding and following instructions. She works focused with every one of the tasks, and she does not have any problems with concentration or with keeping up her concentration. She has no motorical, I can't explain. She does not show any restlessness in her movements, which I was so petrified. So that's why I was so scared that I could not even move. That's why. But okay, because during my previous sessions with the psychologists back in my hometown here, in my town here, I was so restless that, I was visibly anxious, which was not the case there because I instead had the freeze response. Anyway, just aside. She avoids most of the time eye contact, and she often laughs during the conversation, which doesn't always fit the context. She can sometimes small talk, but she tends to get stuck in long rambles that needs to be cut off, which kind of checks out, I guess. Anyway, I laugh at things, okay? I laugh at myself. That's what I'm currently doing right now, because I find that it's important. Anyway, we've got neuropsychological testing with VICE-4, which is a test of intelligence, basically for young people and adults. Most people have 10, and the normal variation is 7 to 13. Because there was no, they did not suspect that I had an intellectual disability, they only did a few parts of the VICE-4 as a screening. Otherwise, they would have done the whole VICE-4, which would have maybe been even paired with an IQ test, but I did not have to do all of that. It's different in every country, okay? For me, I didn't have to do it. So in the perceptual functions, Ingrid's perceptual functions is with matrices. She's in the same level as the general population. She got 9 out of, I guess, which is the median is the mean is 10, so I got 9. The results show a good capacity for non-verbal logical thinking and visual spatial thinking. Verbal functions, her verbal functions is with a test called similarities. and she's way over the mean. I got 15 points, and most people are between 7 and 13. The results show a very good capacity to abstract thinking and verbal expression, which checks out. I mean, that's how I manage in the world, you know. Working memory. Ingrid had a working memory with the test of number repetition. And she was in the lower part of the median of the population. So she got 7. So 7 out of 13 to 13 is the regular range. Quickness. Her working tempo and her concentration was with symbols, and she was very much under the mean. She got 6, and most people are between 7 and 13. So yeah, I wasn't quick at all. That's because I was worried of getting things wrong. So yeah. Anyway, when we got to the doctor, they said that I was basically, I did not have any diseases or conditions. My psychiatric examination was normal. He did a neurological test and other tests that were normal. He didn't do that many physical tests, okay? Like, you know, I do much more detailed physical tests than the psychiatrist does. But that's because I'm a GP, you know? Anyway, he's a psychiatrist, so he's not so interested in the body, I guess. But that's just my judgment of him. Ingrid does not have any diagnostic criteria for psychiatric diseases or conditions according to Minnie, which I've talked about before. I don't think that he actually went through a Minnie, but okay. Ingrid has had treatments for a psychiatric illness, which we've talked about before. She has anxiety and certain depression. She even has been burnt out. She's had anxiety and depression with diagnosis. She has certain of these now, but they're not enough for a diagnosis. Ingrid does not have any treatment right now because of her psychiatric problems. She's left urinary samples, no problem. And then he also checked me like physically for signs that I might be affected by drugs or alcohol during the meeting. So I did not have that. And now we get to the results summary. During the assessment has come several symptoms of difficulties with social interaction, communication, change, and a big need for predictability and routines. There are certain special interests and sensory sensitivities. All symptoms have been also during our childhood. From this information from Ingrid and her family member, and through Ida, she has 3 out of 3 of A criteria and 4 out of 4 B criteria for autism. Basically, like everything. You don't need to have all the criteria to fulfill the criteria for autism, but I did. Nothing else, somatically or psychiatrically, has shown up that I can better explain Ingrid's difficulties. She has Ingrid's cognitive ability is above general population. It's they decided that it's possibly or probably her good cognitive skills that have been very compensatory factor during her childhood and adult life to manage the symptoms. The diagnosis criteria for autism level 1 are fulfilled. Then they went, and there are a few symptoms on distractibility and difficulty with energy regulation. Then they went through DIVA, which is for ADHD. Ingrid has 3 of 9 symptoms, DFH for inattentiveness, and 0 of 9 symptoms on hyperactivity, impulsivity. The symptoms have not been clearly during her childhood. She therefore does not fulfill the criteria for ADHD. These symptoms are thought to be as a part of the executive functioning difficulties that are common in autism. So they put the diagnosis, DSM-5, 299.00, autism level 1, ICD-10, F84.0. Then the recommendations. The recommendations are, with the diagnosis of autism, you can have support and information about the diagnosis through the habilitation, which I will be getting now soon. With the diagnosis of autism, you can get help from, according to LSS, which is the law of support and service in Sweden. They recommend a home social worker that can help to get routines at home. They talk about how sick leave or to go down and working in work time can be needed to be able to, on a long scale, manage in her working life and to avoid burnouts and getting sick leave all the time. They recommend a contact with an occupational therapist to find strategies in your daily life with structure and planning. They can also prescribe cognitive help, like products if needed. They recommend psychopedagogical help to learn more about the diagnosis and to meet others with similar difficulties. They recommend weighted blankets, which can be of help for sleeping difficulties and can have a calming and anxiety helping effect. Then they talk about other things for the home. They talk about a better work day with longer pauses and more time for administration, clear like timetable, good routines and structure around tasks, clear and short instructions, predictability and clarity in what is expected of me, shorter days, work days with regular pauses and time for recuperation, and a possibility to lower the sensory input, for example, being able to sit on my own for certain tasks. They recommend certain information on autism, and then it's their signatures. So that was it. And then I got like this little paper which was like about autism, and also certain links. However, as you can see, a lot of the links are have the word Asperger, which is unfortunate, but okay. And also a lot of these links are like from 2010, which is quite a long time back. But you know, they couldn't know that I would be a person who has a YouTube channel that talks about autism, you know? So they wouldn't know that a lot of those links are like not good. But yeah, so that was it. As you guys probably can see, it's very different from person to person, from country to country, about what is inside these neuropsychiatric assessment papers. I do want to say that I've seen papers from different patients, and they have completely different things, even within the same town. I don't know if it's really a problem if everybody does a good work at trying to figure out the truth and in doing going through the criteria and all that. But it is interesting to know, and I think that if I were still in the process of getting my diagnosis, I would want to know what was inside these papers. So that's why I made these 3 videos. I know that these videos are boring for most people, but I think that they will be useful for one person, and that is enough for me. That's why I'm making them. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. I'm going to go back to regular programming soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.